Here we go.
Strive to make art that change the world.
Your help.
Surprise, surprise, eh?
I'm getting my teeth into a new play.
That's a good round number.
You want this all for yourself?
Who wouldn't?
Good casting, too.
Hey, that's cute.
There's a storm coming.
There'd be no story without us.
Here we go.
Strive to make art that change the world.
Your help.
Surprise, surprise, eh?
I'm getting my teeth into a new play.
I'll get there now before they get too busy.
No, you'll be fine.
I want a bit of fresh air. I've been sat there.
I'm going to get a bit of cloth.
I'm not going to knock everything over.
No, you're right. No, you're right. You're right. Then, if it starts raining, you can hide under the...
Well, yeah, that's why you go there, because there's the cover there.
Yeah.
I think the rain's gone now.
Yeah,
Look at that mist though. It's cool, isn't it? It's funny if it gets fogged out.
Kind of mysterious.
Yeah, next time.
You've got to keep that open, otherwise it'll... Okay. Otherwise it'll close down. Oh, sorry, I was fixing the lamp.
Mr. Cordero.
Everyone else first. Good evening, everyone, here at Southgate Hockey Centre for the crucial Southgate Beeston game. Going to take you through the teams. We've got about 11 minutes to push back. Right, so going through with Beeston men's ones first. Simon Hudran in goal. Toby Stanley, number 4. Alastair Richmond, number 5. Robbie Gleeson, number 6. Gareth Griffiths, captain, and number 7. Ben Collinson, number 8. George Fletcher, 10. Henry Croft, 11, Owen Sutton, 13, Joe Paul, 14, Will Prentice, number 15, Chris Curry, 17, Mr. Cordero, I'll work on your first name at half-time, 18, Ollie Manson, 19, Ollie Dunn, 20, Dylan Lynn Hon, 24, David Lloyd, 25, and Jack Stamp, 29, Coach Oliver Ashdown, and Manager Stephen Wood, and a very warm welcome to any of their supporters who are here watching. So, taking us on to the Southgate side. Number 3, Jack Middleton. Number 5, Robbie Gill. Number 7, Sean Davis. 8, Dan West. 10, Captain John Spallini. 11, Jatin Sharma. 12, Giulio Farini. 13, Joe Hillier. 18, Hugh Page. 21, Ali Douglas. 22, Callum Douglas in goal. 23, Charles Hamilton. 24, Archer Foster. 25, Nat Farrant. 26, Mo Gandhi, and 28, Xavier Guy. And Coach Hugh Stevens, Assistant Coach Jason Lee, Managers Simon Parker and David Stevens, and crucially thanking our umpires Johnny Downer and Neil Smith, with match official Prikpal Sagu. So there we go, 9 minutes now to all push back, get to the bar, get your drink, be ready for port and wine at half time. This one should be a ripper. No, not today.
Yeah, in fact, I got last week initially. Justin. When I'm on camera. No, you should always be prepared to be on camera.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to Trent Park, Southgate Hockey Centre, for today's Premier Division Phase 2 fixture between Southgate and Beeston. Beeston travelled down from Nottingham this afternoon through an onslaught of rain, thunder, but it seems to have passed. There's a mist descending down around Enfield and Trent Park as we speak. Dramatic conditions for a big game of hockey between two teams vying for Premier Division status next year. Beeston had the better run of it in the previous games. Southgate coming off the back of a tense 1-1 draw against Richmond last week at the Quentin Hogg Memorial Ground. A Jack Middleton field goal in the first half put the visitors ahead, and then a Scott Wall goal in the 63rd minute, a penalty corner, the captain from Richmond leading by example to give the visitors a crucial point in their quest to stay up. So at the moment the Premier Division table sees Bowden at the bottom, Richmond and Southgate the bottom three. It's going to be a fascinating contest, the final few games of this phase 2. The bottom 4 of those teams will then go into what is effectively a relegation playoff, and the points carry over. So for Southgate it's looking unlikely they'll need points to go in their favour. They'll need to win all the remaining fixtures to give them a chance of getting into those top 2 of the bottom 6. That will be 7th or 8th in the wider Premier Division table, when
The top 6 join with the top 2 of the bottom 6. Am I making any sense here? And then the bottom 4 with the points carrying over go off and they'll play each other. And at the end of that, the 2 teams with the lowest points will be relegated into the conferences, into Division 1 rather. For Southgate, the men's second team are joining the conference. They'll be promoted out of the Premier London division and into the Conference East next season. So it's a big success for Andy Fell, the captain, Coach Chris Pearce, and Hugh Stevens on the Southgate men's first team will be looking to make sure that his team stay up there, and this is why this game is so important. We'll be pushing back here in Trent Park in just over 5 minutes' time. We'll put up the team sheet for you to have a look. For Southgate, Curran Soffit pulled up with an ankle injury at the end of that Richmond game. So that's a big loss for the Southgate side. Curran's currently in accident and emergency trying to get that ankle seen to see if he's coming back. And Southgate will be looking to see if they can hold a bit more possession, be a bit calmer on the ball. It got very frantic last week against Richmond. Lots of turnovers, lots of errors, and they'll be looking to recapture the form that they showed against Cardiff and Met, where they came out 3-2 winners after being 2 goals behind. And again, brilliant game, 3-3 draw against East Grinstead at home, which was a real thriller with Charles Hamilton scoring a 70th minute equaliser after East Grinstead scored a 69th minute, what looked like a winner. We'll be hoping for more of that today. Henry Croft, the GB international and Beeston top scorer, is already out to be warming up. He'll be a key player today, and the Southgate defence will be looking out for him keenly. For now, you're very welcome. It's good to have you with us, and we'll be getting going very shortly. 4 minutes to push back here. Southgate against Beeston coming up.
Liz?
Was that the explicit version of what?
What was that?
Those lyrics were not suitable. I don't feel comfortable standing in your lap. Did you not hear the lyrics to that song? I'm standing by our focus shop going,
Point in the middle. Is this camera used or is it?
You probably want a bit wider.
I'm sorry, but we needed this.
You fade down.
At some point it must get too heavy.
Now. There you go, so run out.
You're going to tell me when to do? Or just when they run out?
You stay here.
The flares,
Hopefully when the flares. Will, do you want to
I'm not
stand by?
DJ.
Let's make sure you go down and make sure that the flares something set up down there. You can there aren't any flares at all. This should be
In the wet.
Flares are coming out. Very good.
Very near to be enthusiastic.
Yeah.
What's the mic?
Skinny microphone.
Does that mean Is that for the pitch? So we're not allowed to speak? 70 minutes of my voice being...
Now we have one player.
And here we go. We are very close to the walk-on, the crucial walk-on. And so, with our umpires leading us out, here we have Southgate and Beeston. This crucial clash. 6 lane, 6 o'clock, Saturday night, all the drama. And our ball patrol leading us out first, thank you very much. Here we go, both teams. In the aesthetically pleasing red and white.
So, as the red smoke, the Southgate red flares fly into the camera, you can see the two teams, Beeston in the white shirts and black shorts, the white socks, Southgate in their eponymous red shirts, black shorts and red socks, lining up there with the umpires in the middle. The Southgate balcony is now massing with spectators and Beeston supporters and Southgate supporters. If you're a Beeston supporter and you haven't been able to make it down, you're very welcome to this live stream. The umpires today, Johnny Downer and Neil Smith, and the match official officiating, making sure all the rules and regulations are adhered to, is Paul Sagu. The third team always very welcome, without whom these games would not be possible. So now both teams now going into their pre-team huddles. So Southgate looking to respond after a tricky game last week. They are undefeated in phase 3 and phase 2 rather, but they'll be looking for rather better than their performance last week.
Ready to do their job. Richmond Land having been sacked as Ball Patrol from a couple of weeks ago.
Results coming in from other games happening around the country. Cardiff and Met took a very close edge victory against Richmond in an away game for them at the Quentin Hogg Memorial Ground, so that will push Cardiff further up towards safety, and a fascinating 2-2 draw against East Grinstead and Bowden, finishing with Bowden making that long journey down from Manchester, and a crucial point for them. Will it be enough? We'll see. Beeston coming here off the back of a 4-2 win last week. Again in the away game, Henry Croft scoring in the 7th minute for Joseph Paul, Oliver Manson, and again Henry Croft with a stroke in the 63rd minute, getting the better of the Bowden side. They'll be looking for more of that today. So Henry Croft storming there forward with the number 11 jersey on the ball now. The crowd hushed. The atmosphere tense, febrile, ready for this. A combination of mist and flare smoke lingers in the air as the Beeston players start with the ball, and it's Croft sends it back into the midfield, and off we go. A few cries from the Southgate supporters abound, and there immediately Charles Hamilton pickpockets. The Beeston player drives straight into the Dearson, an early chance, and he goes straight in, and that is an unbelievable start to the game. A dream start for Southgate. Charles Hamilton, the hero of the East Grinstead game, in the 20th second, one of the fastest goals in the Premier Division this year. An extraordinary start for Southgate. That ball getting past Simon Hutchwan in the Beeston goal. And I'm not sure anyone expected quite that start. As Ollie Manson then passes back, can Beeston find an immediate response? That's a surefire way to get the home crowd going. And now Mo Gandhi, the US international, plays it into the screen as Jack Middleton passing back to the captain, John Stellini, and now to the New Zealand player, Xavier Guy, whose first touch, unfortunately, not quite working for him. You'll see in the background there that mist and haze, which may come and settle over the pitch as Gareth Griffiths drives in, well picked up there by Stellini, as Dan West now presents an aerial ball, finds Sean Davis. Sean now in the sidelines turns. He's got the support, the cavalry coming in. It falls back to Archie Foster, and that's some solid defending there from the Beeston side. Under pressure in this early clash of the game. Robbie Gleeson doing some brilliant work there. So the score after a breathless 2 minutes is Southgate 1, Beeston 0. And we catch our breath as Toby Stanley plays it into the captain, the number 7 Gareth Griffiths, Wales and GB under 21 and under 23 player. And a former teammate of Dan West wearing the Southgate number 8 jersey. And they were in the EDP setup and won the Sultan of Johor Cup in 2019 together. So old friends, they'll know each other well. Gandhi then to Stellini. Stellini drives forward. A very good lead that from Davis, but a slightly difficult first touch. Toby Stanley then, and again, Davis, the Canadian international, felt he might have picked the ball there, but it was judged to have been a foul. And now Beeston have a chance to build. Stanley, the fullback, finds Owen Sutton, another Wales and GB EDP player, student at Sheffield Hallam. Middleton then to Guy, a better second touch for him, and that's a fine ball that finds Stan West, and he tries to put that over the P spot, but Owen Sutton trenchant in his defence. The first game between these two sides was a 2-2 draw. Played at Bowden, and this is Archie Foster now. A really good run for him. He wins free hit just outside the D. Jack Middleton standing over it. In that game, Curran Soffert, the injured Southgate player who looks to be making a recovery. News has reached us that accident and emergency reported it wasn't a break, so he should be back, which is a boon for the team. And the other goal came from Archie Foster to equalise after a Henry Croft goal from a stroke in the 56th minute. Gave Beeston a point. And umpire Johnny Downer seeing an infringement there on Charles Hamilton. Beeston doing well here, just playing a patient game. Stanley then to Sutton, down onto the left. Nice little exchange there. So Ollie Manson picks up the ball, sends it down the left, but a slight miss trap there. The pitch has had a bit of water on it over the last couple of hours, so it could be playing a little slower for both teams, but potentially it's brand new pitch here at Southgate, so it'll be different to the last time that Beeston came to visit. And Southgate definitely having the better at the moment. It's largely living in Beeston territory, as Ollie Dunn now, a new joiner from Nottingham Trent University, plays it forward into that attacking midfield line. David Loy jumping on that, and that's nice. Patient build-up play from the visitors. Back to Stanley. Under pressure from Foster, plays it into the screen. Manson back to Sutton. The ball flies down the left. So 6 minutes played here at Southgate Hockey Centre. The score Southgate 1, Beeston 0. If you're just joining us, you're very welcome. Charles Hamilton scoring a goal in the 20th second to send Southgate up as Xavier Guy steps on that really nicely. Cuts inside, very well defended, not quite. And now an opportunity coming here for Beeston. It flies up, it's dancing all over the place, and umpire Downer awards the first corner of the game. And Southgate, I'd say, got away with one there. See that ball being pulled back, and that's a fantastic first time deflected hit from the Beeston attacking unit. So, Henry Croft then, the danger man. A lowering mist behind Croft there on the left, Castle. Dunn on the right, Castle. Charles Hamilton has been an instrumental #1 runner for the team. So you'll watch him, the face mark, he rushes out, it falls to Croft. Croft flicks, well saved there from Callum Douglas, the Scotland and GB international player, proving his value to the side there. A really solid boot, clearing it out. And now Beeston on the ball again. It's a good spell from then. Griffiths back to Sutton. Dunn to Stanley. Stanley back to Dunn. Slightly loose pass back to Dunn, but he does well. It's picked up then by Middleton. And he's got Farini running onto it, but it's not quite that fast. And it hits the foot of Archie Foster. The Southgate players have been working on getting that ball much quicker into those attacking midfields and high forward lines. So he'll look for free hits being taken very early, and that's a carved scythe of a shot. Flides. I think that's Toby Stanley saying there was no one near it, but I'm not sure he intended it to come off quite like that. And it's going to be a Southgate ball. Farini leaving it to his long-time teammate, the captain John Stellini, who crouches, looks for the aerial option and chooses to play it simply to Gandhi. And that's Alastair Douglas, brother of Callum Douglas. It's just returned from the Nations Cup, where Scotland had great success. Went to Southgate, and that's a ball firing across. Well marshalled out by Ben Collinson. Farini then to Stellini. Stellini sends a ball hard in, and that's a fine shot that managed to go all the way through a sea of Southgate players and the Beeston players alike. Simon Hitchwan let it go harmlessly through on goal, though, with no touches were found. So 10 minutes that have played. Robbie Gill then, Southgate Junior. He's worked his way through every team in the club. And a loose touch there from Farini, and he's been pickpocketed. George Fletcher storming down, and much to a chorus of disapproval from Southgate and the home supporters. It's the second corner, and that was a cheap turnover, and that's what Southgate really need to watch. Croft in conversation with umpire Downer. The Beeston players huddle. It's Ali Richmond there, #5 player, again very familiar with some of the Southgate players. Former Clydesdale and Loughborough Students player. Has been with Beeston since 2022 season. Really important player for them. And he lines up to stop on the right, Castle, but we expect this to go to Croft on the left of your screen. And that is Henry Croft doing what Henry Croft does. Well, it's an interesting routine and it works a treat. And that is the equaliser from the visitors. Beeston, the score Southgate 1, Beeston 1, and that just flew.
Right, there we go, the equaliser. There can't be twos after the end of the first quarter, 1-1.
An unorthodox whack of a ball from Henry Croft. And after a really strong start, the home side now need to get back into this as Beeston are clawing their way back into this contest as they now drive down the left. Well marshalled there by Mo Gandhi. Douglas. Gandhi. Under pressure there from Beeston forwards. Stellini does well, finds skill. He sends it down the line for Joe Hillier. So it's the captain, Gareth Griffiths, driving round. The right he finds Fletcher. Under pressure though from Stellini. Jatin Sharma there, making his first appearance, and there's a ball coming across the D from Gareth Griffiths. And it's going to head out for a 16-yard hit. Southgate just beginning to see those turnovers rise as Gandhi drives forward, finds Gill, the half-back running down, and that's a good ball there. Well defended from Ben Collinson. As Hillier plays it down to Davis. Davis now driving the baseline. It's not quite under control though, and that's going out for a 16 hit. So it's shaping up to be a really interesting contest here between these two sides. So that's West then. Finds Sharma, who gets a good touch, but a really nasty collision. But both players seem to be all right. They pick themselves back up, dusted down, and now Beeston are on the charge. Fletcher, fine tackle that from Gandhi. So at the moment, the table, we've got Cardiff, they've got a couple of games on Beeston, but they've got the 19 points. Beeston second within phase 2, this is for the lower 6 with 16 points. East Grinstead tied on 16, and Southgate a 6-point gap then to the 4th placed Southgate. And then Richmond and Bowden in a scrap for the bottom places. Richmond with 5 points, Bowden 4 points. So Dan West now, very familiar with a lot of these Beeston players. And he's just turned the ball over there, and you're seeing another charge forward from Beeston, now into Southgate 25. Middleton under pressure, does well. And Ali Douglas sends it back to his captain. And Gandhi's going to look for the Kiwi, Xavier Guy. Guy's made a really big contribution to this side. He came in unexpectedly midway through. His first game was against Wimbledon at Raynes Park, and since then he's been a starter. And there is another of those crash balls sent across from George Fletcher. Fletcher joining Beeston from Reading this year. So Gandhi, his first season back for Southgate after spells at club in Ulster in Germany, and before that Hampstead Westminster. But he was a Southgate junior originally, and that's Nat Farrett now doing really well there. Tix rolls. He's got Hamilton. He had a chance, but slightly too slow on that. And he was well marshalled off the ball by some really strong defending from Owen Sutton there. So you see, really good position. And that first touch just getting slightly ahead of him. And we're seeing the Beeston players putting everything on the line in some of these early Southgate parries. Stick on stick, reverberating up here onto the balcony. So we're now into the last minute or so of a fascinating first quarter. And this is where Beeston are looking dangerous, but right at the edge of Southgate territory, umpire down just saying, not sure what he's saying, but he's going to award that to Beeston. Ball now with Paul. Paul to Richmond. Richmond sends the first. We haven't seen many aerials now. This is an opportunity now. The ball flies across. A really good strong hit from the Beeston attacker there. Well saved by Douglas. And now possible counter opportunity for Southgate, but no, it's been awarded back to Beeston. We're seeing those first touches for both teams not being quite as strong as they'd like. Guy under pressure. A big appeal from Robbie Gleeson. Umpire down and not listening to that. And Southgate now on the counter. Hugh Page.
Oh, hello! Come on! Come on, I'll deal with that.
Some Southgate support heard in the background as Ali Douglas fires an aerial looking for Hamilton right at the edge of the D, but that's not Charles's finest touch. He'll be disappointed, I think, with that one. As with that, umpire Neil Smith calls time on the first quarter. The score, Southgate 1, Beeston 1. Goals coming from Charles Hamilton in the 20th second. And a superbly taken corner with pure power from Henry Croft beating Callum Douglas in the Southgate goal. So the players now coming in for their team huddles. Hugh Stevens, Jason Lee for Southgate. Meanwhile, Oliver Ashdown, Beeston coach, will be pleased with how his team kept calm. An early setback, but they really worked their way back into this game. And you couldn't really split the two teams at the moment. You wouldn't want to be a betting man with this game. But an absolutely must-win game for Southgate. Keen to extend the lead from Richmond beneath them. And Bowden, who are hot on the heels of Richmond. For Beeston, they are now in a big foot race, and a win here could really see them putting the pressure on Cardiff and Met for that 7th spot in phase 3. So it's all happening in the Premier Division at the moment. And there's Jason Lee, former GB coach, of course, for the men and the women. It's been a really important addition for Hugh Stevens, who's come into the Southgate role this year, taking over, of course, from Quan Brown. The assistant stepping into the big shoes. And there's John Stellini, the captain. A calm, level head. Stellini's been with this team for many years. Again, working his way up. He's a Southgate man through and through. He's been one of the few players that remember Southgate's last foray in the Premier Division back in 2015. Giulio Farini possibly being the only other one here that can remember such times. At that point, Charles Hamilton was a ball patrol, and there's pictures of him wearing those orange bibs as a young junior here. But look at him now, goal scorer, as Richmond now dinks that ball over under pressure from Page. Still Richmond goes. It's a good run from him. Drives down onto the baseline, showing all his speed, cuts it back. And that is quality work there from Ali Richmond. Cutting back inside, sends it back, and a first-time shot, does pretty well actually. But the whistle is blown, and this is now the 3rd corner for Beeston. Hugh Page not looking very happy with it, but the corner has been awarded, and this is an important moment. So again, Croft in the number 11 jersey. Just back from the Pro League in India. So brings back that international experience with him now. And it comes out this time to the right castle. It's a well run down though The Southgate player saying, no, it was off the stick. Umpire down saying, I think that was a foot, and it's a re-award. But you see there in this replay, Hamilton just closing. Well, they're double teaming it. Southgate. They know the threat of Croft, and they're going to run a wall at him. It falls again. Again, they anticipate the wall, they cut it back, and that's a really good diving save there from Callum Douglas. See, they're creating the space, they slap it in. Two Beeston players looking to tap it in on the near post. Douglas does well. The Southgate defence holds. It's a game of chess here. The danger of running those two players directly at Croft, of course, is that space on the right slip. So let's see, this time again falls to Croft. And that time, a really innovative routine there from Beeston. Croft went to smash it, they slipped it left and flicked it in. There you go. And Douglas and Middleton between them couldn't stop that, and that is Southgate 1. The visitors take the lead. Their second goal. 3 minutes played in the second quarter. What's the Southgate reply going to be? Gill then sends it, finds Foster. Foster's got Middleton making a nice little lead down the left-hand side. Strong tackle coming in from the Beeston player. Middleton sets it up. Gill behind him. Hugh Page running, making the lead left. Trying to put it in, top D, but it's well picked out, and now Beeston with the possession. Griffiths. Middleton wins the ball. West feints Hamilton. Pulls it wide, cuts back inside. He's got Farini behind him. Sends it wide, trying to hook up with West and Foster. Neither of them led, and the ball turned over. Breathless stuff. Going to need to show some resilience now. Southgate, which a resilience they found at Sophia Gardens 3 weekends ago, when twice they went behind. 2-0, looked a very tough order to come back, but they managed it. With the third goal coming in the final quarter, much to the delight of the 5 Southgate supporters in attendance that day. A few more of them here today. The crowd are going to need to get behind this team, as Middleton does really well picking that aerial up on his reverse and sends a tricky bouncing ball up. Unusual Mo Gandhi position in the higher lines, but he's now switched back. And there's Guy doing a driving overlapping run there with Sean Davis. Nearly came off for him, but umpire Smith gives it over to Beeston. Now it's a gilt edge opportunity for Beeston, and Callum Douglas, absolutely fantastic work from the Southgate keeper. That was a gilt edge chance to inflict a real blow on the home side. Have a look at this. Really well taken turn, aerial cutting inside, and that was almost a shoe-in for a goal, and a big contribution from Douglas. And Beeston all over this home side at the moment. And now Croft getting a reverse shot on goal. Easily fended off that time by Douglas. And I think missing on the near post anyway, but it's always better to be safe than sorry. And Douglas is not taking any chances. So Beeston with the advantage. They're looking sprightly, lively. Farini would like to have picked that up a bit cleaner. Gets in the way, but he had a chance to counter, and now Beeston continuing to probe the Southgate defence. A really nice turn. I think that's Toby Stanley on the far side coming in. Stellini does really well there and fires that ball hard up the other end. Kicks to touch, and I think that's gone out for a 16-yard hit. clearing the danger, but I think it shows Southgate players a little rattled at the moment. Ollie Dunn now on the ball. You've got Dylan Limhon in the screen, physio at Rotherham for Rotherham NHS, and also used to coach Sheffield Hallam, men's and women's. And now here we go, Beeston once again on that left baseline as you're looking at it. And Southgate flooding numbers back behind the ball, a really congested D. Sean Davis doing the work of two forwards at the moment. And here we have the ball with Dunn. Beeston really looking to probe that left-hand side. And Gill overcommits, comes back. Richmond, not quite the touch he was after. And again, Stellini, I think it was, booting it to touch. So this has been an interesting 7 minutes. Probably playing much better for the Beeston supporters watching. Southgate sitting back deep, allowing the Beeston players to attack forward. There's Archie Foster now putting the pressure as a lone ranger in the high line. And now a lovely touch there, really dangerous. And then a ball fires in, and another shot from Beeston. Confidence growing here, dangerous for Southgate. And it's those touches that are just coming off. Maybe not the most targeted shot of the day you'll see, but a shot nevertheless. Won't count as one on goal. Ali Douglas, need his experience. Nice aerial, trying to find Archie Foster, but a little flat, hard to pick up in the fading light. So the twilight has settled here in the middle of one of London's loveliest parks. And after an explosive start, the Southgate supporters slightly dampened in their enthusiasm. It's time the team just needs to dig deep. This doesn't always go your way. Game of hockey. The ball now with Richmond. Well picked up by Gandhi. He's got lovely ball position, lovely carry. Hillier, though, it's not working at the moment. He's trying to fend off Ali Richmond, and he does well. So there's Joe Hillier on the right of your picture. Head of hockey, University College London. And when we look at the stats at the half-time break, I think we'll probably see Beeston with significantly more possession, particularly in this second quarter. And Southgate at the moment just letting them have it. Nat Farrant trying to chase, and that is fine work from Stellini, and Ali Douglas nearly away. They're just looking to get and counter quickly, Southgate, but they need to get the ball to get it to counter, and they need to have it under control. Beeston it is, once again sitting, once again using that left. They've spotted a weakness in the Southgate arsenal. Seven minutes left until half-time. Can Southgate try and reverse this? So again, those sort of crash balls both on the forehand and the reverse not quite coming off at the moment for the Beeston players. Quite getting the connection they'd be looking for, and it's Southgate right in the corner. Croft trying to pen that, is brilliantly taken down by Richmond, and West as well. And the umpire Danner awarding free hit to Beeston players, and now the Robbie Gleeson's driving in on the right, puts it across. A bit of a, not know if that's a confusion or just good teamwork between Gandhi and Douglas, but it's gone Southgate's way, and the Southgate players now looking to build. Stellini just holding a palm out saying, calm it down. Stellini then. trying to find Davis. Davis posting up. And Douglas now on the left-hand side for a period. Back to Stellini. Stellini looks up, looks forward. Dinks an aerial, trying to find Hamilton, who does well. And there's a contested call, shall we say, from the Southgate balcony, as umpire Smith calls that not in the favour of Charles Hamilton, and it is Beeston now driving up under pressure from West, and George Fletcher hits the deck. A run full of momentum. Ali Douglas then, I think he's been one of the standout players in this second quarter, but that's a fine pick from Hamilton. Xavier Guy looks to fake the aerial. He's under pressure from all sides. Still he goes, cuts it back inside. But Dylan Lim Hon doing well, and now Beeston on the charge. Croft then. Gandy, top defending. And now Southgate have got a bit of clear space ahead of them, and it's Hamilton. He's a muscular, almost more of a rugby player in physique, Hamilton, and he really used that physicality as the Beeston player seemed to just bounce off him. And this is better from Southgate. I say that almost. Put the curse of the commentary onto Mo Gandy and the number 26 shirt for Southgate. He finds the number 28 shirted guy, Xavier Guy. And now a bouncing ball sent in by Stellini, who signals to his halfback. And this is now Guy. He's going to fire a ball in. There's an opportunity. And the Southgate crowd cheer, but nobody got anything on that one. Again, we're just seeing those slap passes and the hits not quite coming across with the control that perhaps they need. But it's better, nevertheless, from the Southgate players. And now Beeston, they're moving it really quickly in and out of the screen, out into the wide channels. Richmond, Gandy and Croft in a really fascinating duel between the two of them. Not sure where their paths have crossed. I believe that, in fact, Gandy has played at Beeston. My notes for Mo's extensive club career not with me, but I believe over the bar the other night he said he did a spell there. So possibly there is a degree of familiarity on show between two old campaigners. Richmond then. A ball that I'm not sure he meant it to go there, and it falls back into the possession of the men in red and black. And that's better now from Southgate. West to Hamilton. The Southgate players charge up. Hamilton under pressure, and a ball flies in. Douglas to Middleton. Middleton, the goal scorer from last week, finds Douglas. Douglas then right at the edge of the D, lifts it, turns it inside. Still he goes. Southgate looking for a corner. They're not going to get anything. And Beeston now. So 2 minutes or so left in the first half. The score, Southgate 1, Beeston 2, if you're just joining us. Beeston scoring from 2 corners with some interesting and innovative routines. Southgate scoring in the 20th second of the game, Charles Hamilton. But on the whole, it's been largely a game that's favoured the visitors so far. And there's Ali Richmond sending the ball top D. Beeston players now deep into Southgate territory, under pressure, really good again from Douglas. Richmond rather, but it's picked up by Middleton, and now Southgate countering, looking to do that. Fast movement into space, and Hamilton, slightly over-ambitious there, overextending. West getting to show a little bit of frustration, things not quite working temporarily. And it's Croft on the ball. moment of real stillness here. For a brief moment you could hear a pin drop around Trent Park, a solitary aeroplane overhead. And Beeston, an uncharacteristic basic error. And Middleton drives through. It's a good run from him. That long reach, but brilliantly picked up. He was looking dangerous, Toby Stanley, though. And now Southgate scrambling back. And again, those turnovers, possibly a little bit of fatigue showing. Grunt of frustration heard from Archie Foster. Be looking to influence this game. Foster, an important player for Southgate, moved up from the defensive line this season into an attacking midfield role and proved really important in the early part of the season. And difficult ball there for Stellini, but a bit of helpful advice from the Southgate supporters to umpire Downer, but he won't need it because he's decided to call time there. The score is Southgate 1, Beeston 2. Sean Davis walking off with purpose to the Southgate balcony. And the game remains poised. Some important conversations needing to be had behind closed doors as the players head off for a 10-minute break. So I invite you to catch your breath. We'll show you a few highlights and we'll be back with you very soon in this Premier Division game between Southgate and Beeston. The score, Southgate 1, Beeston 2.
That's a good round number.
You want this all for yourself.
I wouldn't.
Good casting too.
Hey, that's cute.
There's a storm coming.
There'd be no story without us.
go.
Strive to make art that change the world.
Your health.
Surprise, surprise, eh?
I'm getting my teeth into a new play.
That's a good round number.
You want this all for yourself.
Who wouldn't?
Good casting, too.
Hey, that's cute.
There's a storm coming.
There'd be no story without us.
So the ends have changed. Southgate and Beeston have returned. The coaches have spoken. And the game is afoot once more. Ollie Manson under pressure from Farini. Does well. Jack Middleton, that is, who does well. And now Southgate looking for an immediate response. Drive it into the foot of the Beeston defenders, and it's Middleton in the Southgate number 3 jersey playing it top D to Hamilton. Hamilton still goes, puts it onto his reverse turns. Sends a really nifty little reverse flick of a shot. Wins a corner. That's good from Hamilton. His confidence growing, especially after that early goal. And that ball falls. And the first corner awarded for Southgate. Well picked up there. And there you see Davis in a battle and Simon Hudgman protecting his goal mouth. A chance then to equalise. Southgate players, what will they do? So, umpire down and just calling time, a bit of work with the PCD unit and the PCD kit happening, face masks, knee pads, boxes. So it's Jack Middleton on the injection. Foster on the left castle. Stellini lining up on the right castle. It falls to Foster, it's slipped. And a routine that was sort of salvaged there. If you have a look at that again, yeah, just not coming off. But they send it wide, and then Foster trying to slap it in for a touch in on goal. It doesn't quite come off. And that ball's going to fall straight down for Foster, who's going to put it across the face of goal. And this is good from Southgate.
Oh, stop whinging!
Croft in appealing to umpire Smith for a reversal of that decision. It's not going his way. Yes, pointing that hit the stick down and saying it's not what he saw. Who'd be an umpire? So, second corner for Southgate. They'll be hoping to improve on the execution. So that's Foster on the left of your screen, Gandhi stopping, Stellini to the right with Guy stopping, Middleton injecting, Sean Davis running in on the right-hand side of your picture. Umpire Johnny Downey. Calling order, falls to Foster. That time it is stopped, and that ball goes everywhere, and it's gone into the goal! Somehow it's been worked in, Sean Davis. I think that was the cry of goal goes up. And a little juggle from the Canadian puts it in. The scores are level. Just the start that Southgate were looking for. And the game is on here. So the scores currently sat exactly where the scores finished in the away leg, or home leg if you're a Beeston fan, which was 2-2. But you have a suspicion this game will not be finishing 2-2. A leaping, bounding takedown from the aerial from Gandhi there. And a bit of a spring back in the steps of the Southgate players. Stellini then, the captain, not quite his finest pass though, picked up well by Manson. Manson now sends it right to Stanley. Stanley puts it in. This is an opportunity. The captain picks it up, sends it off, and a ball fired over the goal, almost into the car park. But the netting caught the ball and prevented any damage to the cars in said car park. But Beeston looking for their next goal. A dance down the right touchline. It's got to be Ali Richmond. Pace of that. Puts it in. Deflects off. Davis, the goal scorer. He scored a goal, but he's just given away a corner at the other end of the pitch. And that is not what Southgate wanted. So Beeston's corners have proved problematic for the Southgate defenders. And the senior players there, the captain, Croft, in conversation, and they're now going to line up. So, of course, Croft tilts his head, twizzles his stick, and then casually waits for his injector, Ollie Manson, formerly of Leeds Hockey Club. So umpire Neil Smith calls time. Manson delivers, Croft comes, he goes for a straight flick, and that was very well down by Robbie Gill, but now an opportunity again for Beeston. They're on the baseline, it comes up, and it's well defended, really good there from Southgate. Robbie Gill, schooled by Quan Brown in the art of defensive running, which entails huge bravery and little thought to personal safety. Sutton overlapping with his colleague, now driving forwards. Beeston pulling in towards the ball, creating a nice zone. Now ball fires in, picks up, bounces at the edge of the D. They ask for a corner. Umpire Smith doesn't give one, and now Southgate send out an aerial. Foster out of danger, and Foster cuts it back inside, but not quite there with that touch back. He fights, he battles, he loses it, and the Beeston players on the deck. Cries of in the D abound, which suggests they're looking for some aerial shot, but they choose not to put it into the D immediately. Look for patient, and to be honest, that attack down the right has worked really well this half for Beeston. A lot of pressure. Beeston probing, looking for a corner. Ben Collinson darting into the D, and Southgate get it away, and Stellini boots to touch, gains possession and territory. And again, we're experiencing a brief spell of sustained Beeston pressure. The ball is with Collinson. He tilts back. Slightly tricky ball on the feet of Joe Paul, former women's coach for Leicester, Paul. And the Griffiths, the Beeston captain, with a fiery ball back to his fullback. And now Beeston charging forward once again, back into Southgate territory. And that's a ball that flies straight across, was at the face of goal. And head on hands there from Robbie Gleeson, who can't quite believe he didn't get something on that. So you see, Gleeson signals, and there it is. That was a missed opportunity. And now Douglas does really well with this ball control. Such a talented young player. Expect to see a lot more of him on the international scene in the years to come. Slightly tricky ball that from Middleton, but it's well picked up by Guy. Shows his pace, cuts it inside. He's got the rest of the pitch, but then that final touch, we're seeing that happen a little bit. Maybe the pitch is playing a little sticky. And Gill now hot on the heels of Fletcher. A lot of pressure being put on the Beeston forwards by the Southgate defence. A little bit more fight. And needle being shown here. And the chess match resumes. Beeston, little dink inside. And West nearly coming out of that. And he does win. And now Douglas, whose stick is stolen from him in dramatic style by Ben Collinson. And a little bit of argy-bargy off the ball. Croft then cuts it inside, trying to find Fletcher. He fails to do it just ahead of him. So Beeston camped now on the Southgate right-hand defence, and a little bit of fire getting into the game. Umpire Johnny Downer just calls for calm.
6 and 8 every time,
But
6 and 8 every time.
the players have made up, even if the spectators haven't, and umpire Downer puts his thumbs up. Play resumes. Southgate players crouch in a semicircle. And some nearly fantastic bit of skill that almost came off for Gleeson. And that was good. There from Guy. Middleton in battle on the baseline. And Southgate players are going to need to be a little wary. This is exactly where corners could be won, as Ali Richmond takes down the aerial. Under pressure from Douglas, but showing a lot of class there. Richmond back to Sutton. And now Toby Stanley inside Gleeson. Gleeson back to Stanley. Stanley got Richmond calling for it. He's in space on the left, and that ball comes firing forward. He's got a player down on to his left. Hamilton chasing him. But Gleeson to Richmond. Hard slap ball from Richmond over, and that's really nice how they're changing the direction of play. And a slap ball comes across, but it's well and easily picked up by Guy. And now Southgate back with the possession. But there you see the difference between the two teams at the moment. Beeston able to move it quickly and clinically. Southgate move it, but not always clinically. But can they do better in this moment? Jatin Sharma trying to find Hamilton, but he puts it into a stick. Stellini, the captain for Southgate, finds Gill. Gill's sending it down, looking for Foster, but Foster wasn't looking for Gill. And Gill, on that note, goes off for a well-earned breath of air. Beeston then back with the possession on the ball. The score 2-2. Last 5 minutes being played of the first quarter. And Farini nearly winning that, but he doesn't. And instead, he's got the captain, Griffiths, driving down right the middle of the park. He's through a load of players. The stick challenge comes in. They're top D, and Southgate nearly in danger of giving away a corner. But instead, umpire Smith just calling players back, and it's going to be a Southgate ball. Stellini to Hillier. Hillier, slightly misguided pass back to Gandhi, and that's a very good pass from Gandhi. Picks West, then has the ball, but makes a really complex decision, where perhaps a simpler moment to hold the ball up, because it's like pinball, which was the problem last week at the Quentin Hogg Memorial Ground, with lots of balls bouncing in and out from one D to the other. So the mood tense up here on the balcony. It's been a slightly more lively affair, as again there's Douglas, a ball slapped across, and as we watch that back, we won't get a chance, it feels, or will we? Here it is. And I think that was Dylan Limhon with the shot, but it was well wide. And now Southgate have the possession. Stellini, he's got Guy showing for it. But again, they're slightly forcing it. Southgate running into dead areas. But that's Davis. He's having a good game, Davis. He's got the goal, of course, but he's being good. And this is Foster showing some good strength. This is better from Southgate now, building something sustained. Foster still got the ball. Still he's got the ball on the feet. It sits under Huchwan. Southgate players are asking for something, and they get it. The request. Simon Huchwan, the ball sat underneath his buttocks. he wasn't aware of where it was. That's brilliant there from Archie Foster, picking up that well. The shot wasn't great, but that's where it sort of got a bit messy. And possibly there was a foot there on Stanley. But now the Southgate players, so they've had a couple of corners. The first one didn't work. The second one was sort of juggled on the line, saved and popped up nicely for Davis, who put it in on the right post. Can they take the lead here? The mist flowing over from the parkland behind us. Some bassy music played by the club DJ, setting the scene and the mood. Beeston players are taking their time to get set in the goal, making the Southgate players wait. So it's Bergwan, his team set. Southgate step, it goes to Foster. Foster fires in. Oh, it's better that time from the Beeston defence. So it's almost an identical routine that really challenging Hudjuan's left-hand side, and it's so he retired the Beeston keeper last year after 7 seasons at the club, but it didn't last long, his retirement, because he's come back this season and he's been called into action many times tonight. He did well there, and this is good. The tails of the Southgate players are up and sparking, and they're just looking to play quickly. Hugh Stevens, is it a crouch of frustration as he saw his players the opportunity to move quickly, but they were called back by umpire Smith, and it's Stellini now. He's going to look for Richmond, who picks it up really nicely on his reverse, sends it onto his strong side, cuts inside, twizzles, turns, wins a free hit, takes it fast again, firing into the D, pinballs, and Beeston now take it quickly themselves, goes to Jack Stamp. Big, loud, bassy notes coming from the Beeston forwards. See Croft leading, dancing in the Southgate D. And Guy doing well. Pulls it out, slightly slow ball, but Hamilton picks it up. Hamilton probably one of the standout players from the home side today. And that is Xavier Guy in your picture, the New Zealand player, launching an aerial up. But that somehow got through. That was a slight mistrap. And as Archie Foster was almost potentially through on goal, to smiles and possible frustration from the Southgate ranks, the umpire calls time on a thrilling third quarter, so this match is very much on. 17 and a half minutes remain. The score, Southgate 2, Beeston 2. Sean Davis getting the equaliser and the only goal in that third quarter from an Archie Foster drag flick that was picked up. The umpire Smith Downer going in for a chat with Britpul Sagu, the match official. Meanwhile, in your picture there, the Beeston players, the experienced goalkeeper Simon Hudjuan currently talking, overseen by coach Oliver Ashdown and the manager Stephen Wood. Henry Croft in the 11 jersey and Owen Sutton listening attentively. And now the Southgate players come back full of resolve. A huge 17 and a half minutes of Premier Division hockey awaits us. And only a little bit nerve shredding. Temperature beginning to drop here in this leafy bit of North London. So it's Dan West, the Southgate number 8. Player stood over the ball, West from Doncaster. big hockey family. And joined with Quan Brown, instrumental player for the team, helped with their promotion, and Gandy was almost pickpocketed by Croft, and that's that ball being taken quickly. Page finds Douglas, and now Guy charging down the right-hand side. Ball comes across, and that sort of popped up, but a shot was not forthcoming. Here you see Davis lurking by the penalty spot, and there's that ball, but it sort of hits a deflection, I think, from, so he never had a chance. So we're away here, fourth quarter underway. Davis finds West, and West now under real pressure. He's pushed off the ball. Last week, Dan West almost got the crucial second goal. He sent it in, he'd beaten the keeper, and Sean Davis got an important deflection, which sadly sent it the other side of the goal and out into safety as a ball is misdirected, forcing Gandy to scrabble back. He picks it up, he comes forward, looks up, finds Guy. Guy finds Douglas, who juggles, dances, wins the sideline ball. Good start here from Southgate. They've started most of these quarters very well, and then Beeston have clawed their way back into it. And a sort of a quadruple turnover, I think we call that one, as West is outmaneuvered by Chris Curry, an Irish under-21 player. Hugh Page tries to get the better of Richmond, fails. And here we have Beeston driving forwards down the right-hand side of this Southgate pitch. Middleton picks it up, doesn't find the control he needs, and Beeston now looking for a circle incursion. Ball comes back, finds Stanley. Stanley coming forward now. Finds Richmond, but that's a rare mistake from Ali Richmond. Nice little smile there between Richmond and Davis. A sporting contest this is, in the truest sense of the word, and now it's West. He's almost picked out Foster perfectly, but Foster had just led inside, and West sent that aerial is outside, and he wasn't able to cut back, although Sean Davis almost charged onto it. And here Beeston go again, really finding a lot of purchase down the right wing. And congested little phase of play there. Southgate putting a lot of pressure. Tight zone. Umpire Smith sending the ball back. Beeston have it. Right on the edge of Southgate 25. So Foster and Farini doing the press work. Page to the right, Hamilton to the left, and there's a ball which West nearly does superbly. Comes forward, he says, was he pushed? And there's Croft. Somehow he kept hold of that one. Such energy in. And Southgate, the captain, will not want to watch that one back. But they get away with it. Now in the 5th minute of the final quarter, the score Southgate 2, Beeston 2. Mo Gandy will need his experience, his calm head. As Stellini to Middleton. 2 veterans. Although Stellini only 33. Plenty of hockey left in him. Middleton, very easy style, a high carry position. And that's a nice ball there. Foster now driving, puts a kind of a crash ball in, but it is not picked up by Hugh Page, who's working hard. Page not quite getting the rub of the green at the moment. So umpire Johnny Down just coming, having a chat there with Toby Stanley. Good communication from the umpires tonight.
4-6-8, they learnt it all.
Not sure Toby Stanley necessarily agreed with what he was being told, but he took it well enough. And it's Stanley now on the ball, and that's a really nice ball. Tried to find David Loy. So David Loy, a former Canadian junior international, be interested for him to have a chat with the Southgate number 7, Sean Davis, a current Canadian international who's over for a season with Southgate. And the ball now, some keen Southgate supporters just in the right-hand side of your view. For those long-term Southgate supporters, that's the back of the head of George Howard. Southgate, Magnum, tankard. And what happened in the corner is potentially a 10-minute yellow. So we believe that to be a 10-minute yellow card for an offence that we couldn't see up here, and an important player sitting down for what will be the bulk of the rest of this game. So that is a hammer blow there for Southgate. They're down to 10, and they're now, Archie Foster is going to have to sit and watch this game play out. So advantage, Beeston. Stanley passes to Dunn. Richmond possibly beginning to feel fatigue. He's been all over the pitch this evening, but the last few touches not quite working for him. So Southgate digging out from our little potential hole, and it's Douglas. And now there's an opportunity as Hamilton drives out, and Hutchwin's had to come out there. And Hamilton is saying that Hutchwin touched it outside the D, but I'm not sure that umpire Downer agrees. And now Southgate doing well as Middleton dancing down to the edge of the D's on the baseline. He's under pressure from Richmond. He puts it into Richmond's stick, and Richmond has it, sends it out. And it's now couched in the far right-hand corner as you're looking at the screen. The ear of the venerable George Howard just obscuring your view. But it's a game that's making the spectators lean forwards. And here you have Hamilton using his pace, and that is outside the D, I believe. So I think that really may be on review with VAR. A corner could well have been awarded. And a card, says our data analyst Howie Wilson, England gold medal winner, data analyst. So less than 10 minutes to go here. A ball high, picked up. Croft appealing. An animated player, Henry Croft. Big personality on the pitch. Passionate player. That's an awesome ball there from Gandhi. Gandhi finds Douglas. Douglas dances, tilts right, cuts back left, gives it away. Richmond to Stamp. Stamp. And tries to find his teammate Henry Croft, but he puts a bit of ball press on it, and it escapes the reach of the GB player. And oh, there's some sticks, hook sticks. Davis gets the better of the hook sticks, and Davis and the captain Gareth Griffiths fall to the ground. It's an excitable, feverish atmosphere here. And we hope that the Beeston captain is all right there. He looks like he is okay. Is he holding his knee? There we go. Gentlemanly conduct, what we want to see. And it is going to be a Southgate ball. Hamilton substitutes on there. So a reminder, Southgate down to 10 players. And Jack Middleton twirls his stick like a baton in frustration because he put that ball wide and off. And it's mistakes like that that could cost this team dearly. But the scores are equal. Memories of Beeston's late goal in the fourth quarter. Fresh still in the memory from the Southgate supporters. But the Southgate defence holding fast at the moment. But Beeston have the ball right in the corner. There's Farini and Middleton. And now Southgate have a chance, and this is Sean Davis is having a great game tonight. You've got Hugh Page driving in. Davis done really well. Hugh Page leading out wide. Still Davis is going. He's still got the ball into the pads of Simon Hutchwan. A great run there, but Hugh Page was crying for it. And Sean Davis, exceptional work, but he just had to give it there to Page, and it was... And he's... And another card now for Southgate. They're now down to 9 players, so Archie Foster will be less lonely out there because he is having a chat there with Hugh Page. And this is Hugh Stevens, currently can't look. That's the Southgate coach. 5 minutes. And Southgate are really under the cosh here. The captain now for Beeston puts a ball in. And that is on the near post. It's fended off by Callum Douglas. So, Robbie Gleeson. Beeston at the edge of the deer. Ball comes right along the baseline, and that's a goal for the visitors. Beeston get their noses back in front. The score, Southgate 2, Beeston 3.
And with that, 3-2 to Beeston.
So, have Southgate got the ability to come back from behind once again? They're slightly short of players. It's not going to help their cause. Which of these Southgate players can step up to the challenge here? There's still time. A lot of chat being heard, a lot of emotion out there. Big aerials looking for Davis. Davis does almost very well, but he in fact hands it down into the palm of Ben Collinson, and Beeston now in no hurry at all. So Southgate now back to 10 players, but Foster still out on the sidelines as Stellini does really well there. It's under a lot of pressure, a lot of stick scything its way, Solly Manson. And Farini pocketed. Gill picks it up and throws it out, and Southgate regroup. That's Dan West waiting to come on. Has he got a goal in him tonight? It will be much appreciated by the home supporters. that ball that sent over has resulted in a penalty corner for Beeston. Beeston then, the first penalty corner of this fourth quarter. The energy slightly sapped out from both players and supporters here on the balcony. But they need only hark back to the East Grinstead game, which saw a last-minute winner from Charles Hamilton, who's got the unique claim to fame of scoring both in the very first minute and also in the very last minute of a game this season. But he might trade that for a goal at this point now. So it's Beeston. Croft, of course, still on. Well cleared out there. And a ball fired in, picked up. And a chorus of disapproval. And the umpires just calling off time. Going to have a little chat. Not the most popular decision, but then this is not the most objective audience up here. Umpire Downer chatting to Tim Smith, explaining what they saw.
We're the ones in red,
And the decision stands. And Croft once again on the left castle. Time ticking down. Seconds, I fear, remain. This game looks like it could almost be done. So 2 minutes remaining. Plenty of time for Southgate. And that is an exceptional save from Callum Douglas. That really is first class. He's let in 3 goals, but he's saved a hell of a lot more. And Beeston just soaking up the minutes now. They've got the 3 points if they don't do anything. Foster still sat on the sidelines. I don't think he's coming back. And that ball is a lovely pass out there from Callum Douglas to Ali Douglas. A rare pass from brother to brother. Stellini then, he's inside. It's Last Chance Saloon in Trent Park in Enfield. Hamilton sat strangely in theatrical terminology. Upstage, we are back to 11 Southgate players on the pitch. Foster will be looking for amends, and that ball from Guy was, I'm not sure whether he meant to do that. Was he looking for a slider ball? There was some feedback that you may have heard from a certain Southgate supporter, but probably not Xavier's most accurate pass of the game. Ball now with Manson. Croft then, he'll soak up every second he can. He's under pressure. He's found Gandhi. We're now into the dying embers, and Gandhi's made nearly perfect passes all night, but that one's not a perfect pass. And now Guy does well, and Southgate, their last chance. Dan West is moving down the middle of the pitch. He turns, he pivots, he falls, and a big cry resounds. Umpire Downer asks for calm. Middleton has the ball. Guy, Southgate needs something, anything will do. A sideline ball, maybe not enough. But now they're still on the baseline. Douglas goes, and he will not get what he was after. And that is the game. The score at the final whistle of an enthralling encounter. That's how many of us might be feeling. The score, Southgate 2, Beeston take all 3 points with 3 goals. Thank you for joining us wherever you may be around the country far or wide or further afield. It's been a big game of hockey, 5 goals in it. Lots of noise, lots of talking points. Southgate go again next week with a long trip north to Bowden, and they'll be needing to bounce back after dropping some important points tonight. Disappointment for Southgate. Congratulations to the Beeston players. They move onwards now, trying to chase that place in phase 3 with the top 6 teams. My thanks to the team here, Alex Christie, Fission Mixing, Tom Davies, zooming in and out on his camera, and Howie Wilson, who's been on the analysis. We'll leave you with some highlights for now, but for now, thanks for joining us here at Southgate, and we wish you a pleasant rest of your evening. Good night.